Dirty facts about ancient Rome you didn't know. Emperor Nero, who ruled from 54 to 68 AD, is infamous for his cruelty and excesses. One of the darkest chapters in Roman history was when he unleashed his wrath on the city of Rome itself. During his reign, a massive fire broke out, believed to have been started by accident or possibly at Nero's behest, which razed a significant portion of the city to the ground. The fire raged for 6 days, destroying approximately 20% of Rome and leaving thousands homeless.
Ho, ho, ho!
In the aftermath, Nero used the tragedy to his advantage, seizing the opportunity to build new palaces and reshape the city according to his vision. He famously reconstructed Rome with grand public works projects like the Domus Aurea, his colossal residence, and the new Forum, all built on the ruins of the fire-stricken areas. While some historians debate Nero's direct involvement in the disaster, the emperor's actions in its wake solidified his image as a ruthless and opportunistic leader.
Ho, ho, ho!
Rome was not just a hub of power and culture, but also a melting pot of people from across the known world. However, this diversity came with a dark side. Rome had a significant population of slaves, estimated to be around 1/3 of its total populace. These individuals were stripped of their rights and freedoms and were forced into servitude. The Roman elite acquired slaves through conquest, war, and trade, often subjecting them to brutal working conditions and inhumane treatment. Slaves were employed in various sectors such as agriculture, mining, and domestic service.
Ho, ho, ho!
They were also used as gladiators in the notorious Roman arenas where they fought to the death for the amusement of the crowds. The institution of slavery in ancient Rome contributed to the wealth and power of the empire, but it came at a terrible human cost, perpetuating a cycle of oppression and exploitation. In the ancient world, entertainment was a big deal, and the Romans took it to a whole new level with their gladiatorial games. Picture this: thousands of spectators packed into a massive arena, roaring with excitement as two gladiators face off in a battle to the death.
Ho, ho, ho!
The Colosseum, the largest amphitheater ever built, was the stage for these brutal spectacles. From sword-wielding warriors to fierce female fighters, these games featured a variety of combat styles and weapons. It was a mix of strategy, skill, and sheer brutality that left audiences on the edge of their seats. But it wasn't all about the fighting. Animal hunts, executions, and even mock sea battles were part of the entertainment too. For the Romans, these games were a way to honor their gods, entertain the masses, and assert their dominance. But behind the spectacle, there was a darker side.
Ho, ho, ho!
The gladiators, often slaves or prisoners of war, endured harsh training and living conditions, and many didn't survive their fights. The roar of the crowd could turn deadly silent as a gladiator fell victim to the lethal force of their opponents. Ancient Rome had its own version of reality TV, but instead of singing and dancing, it was all about throwing gold coins and chasing chariots. The Circus Maximus was the place to be for those who loved the thrill of the race. Imagine being one of the lucky few who got to ride in the chariots pulled by teams of horses, or even wild animals.
Ho, ho, ho!
As the chariots thundered around the track, the audience went wild, cheering on their favorite drivers. But don't think it was all smooth sailing. Chariot racing was dangerous, and crashes were common. Drivers and their horses would get injured, sometimes even dying in front of the horrified eyes of the crowd. There were rival teams with their own fan bases, so the competition was fierce. Some drivers became celebrities, famous for their skills and daring maneuvers. But in the end, it was a high-risk game with only one winner taking home the glory and the spoils.
Ho, ho, ho!
Let's talk about the emperors of ancient Rome, the powerful rulers who held immense authority over their vast empire. You might be surprised to learn that some of these emperors were related by blood. In fact, the Julio-Claudian dynasty, which included emperors like Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, and Nero, consisted of close relatives ruling over the empire. This incestuous practice led to a series of power struggles, betrayals, and demises, making it one of the most turbulent periods in Roman history. The Julio-Claudians were known for their ambition, ruthlessness, and, well, their family drama.
Ho, ho, ho!
It was a time when the future of the empire hung in the balance, shaped by the personal lives and rivalries of its royal family. If you thought Game of Thrones was crazy, wait till you hear about the Julio-Claudians. Let's take a walk through the streets of ancient Rome and explore the public toilets, or should I say publicus. The Romans were pretty advanced when it came to plumbing and sanitation, and they had public bathrooms all over the city. But don't picture fancy porcelain toilets, because things were a bit different back then.
Ho, ho, ho!
Instead, you'd find squat toilets made of stone or wood, often shared by men, women, and even children. And if you were lucky, there might be a small roof for privacy. But don't expect any toilet paper. The Romans used a sponge on a stick for cleaning themselves. And let's just say that's pretty disgusting considering the patrons shared these bathrooms. To make matters worse, the toilets were often filled with waste and urine, creating an unpleasant and unhygienic environment.
Ho, ho, ho!
Despite the less than pleasant conditions, these public bathrooms were an essential part of Roman life, providing a place for people to relieve themselves and socialize. Just try not to think too much about the germs. Let's talk about one of the most iconic symbols of ancient Rome, the Colosseum. This massive amphitheater was the go-to spot for gladiatorial combats, animal hunts, and other public spectacles. Built in 80 AD, the Colosseum was a gift to the people of Rome from the Flavian dynasty. And let me tell you, it was one impressive structure.
Ho, ho, ho!
With a seating capacity of up to 80,000 spectators, it hosted events for up to 100 days each year. But it wasn't all fun and games. Many gladiators and animals lost their lives in the arena. The Colosseum was also involved in some shady stuff like illegal activities and even hosting executions. Despite its dark past, the Colosseum remains a symbol of Roman engineering and entertainment. The Roman Empire was vast and wealthy, controlling much of the known world and amassing great riches. However, this wealth did not bring happiness or prosperity to everyone.
Ho, ho, ho!
In fact, there was a stark contrast between the opulent lifestyle of the elites and the dire poverty of many citizens. Emperor Nero's rule saw the emergence of bread and circuses, a term used to describe the cheap entertainment provided to the masses to keep them distracted and subservient. Public works projects were undertaken to impress the populace, and monuments like the Colossus of Rhodes symbolized the empire's power. Yet beneath the grandeur, poverty and inequality were rampant. The widening gap between the rich and poor created social unrest and instability.
Ho, ho, ho!
Riots and rebellions broke out as people demanded better living conditions and economic opportunities. This growing divide threatened the very foundation of Roman society, highlighting the dark side of the empire's immense wealth. If you think teenage angst is bad now, just wait until you hear about Catiline's conspiracy. Marcus Tullius Catiline was a Roman senator who got fed up with the political corruption and social inequality of his time. He hatched a plan to overthrow the government and redistribute wealth to the poor. But let me tell you, this was no ordinary Robin Hood.
Ho, ho, ho!
Catiline assembled a group of disgruntled aristocrats and planned to seize power and redistribute land to the impoverished masses. He even assembled an army to support his cause. But as you can imagine, the Roman authorities weren't exactly thrilled about this turn of events. After years of scheming and failed attempts, Catiline and his followers were finally caught and executed. This dramatic tale of rebellion and its consequences offers a glimpse into the social and political turmoil that shook ancient Rome.
Ho, ho, ho!
Have you ever wondered how the Roman Empire managed to stay afloat during the reign of Caligula? Well, let me tell you, it was a turbulent time to say the least. Caligula took the throne after the death of his great-uncle, Augustus, and boy, did he have some big shoes to fill. Unlike Augustus, Caligula was known for his extravagance, debauchery, and questionable decision-making skills. He lavished gold on prostitutes, hosted lavish parties, and generally lived a life of luxury. But it wasn't just his personal life that was a mess.
Ho, ho, ho!
Caligula alienated powerful allies, insulted the Senate, and launched disastrous military campaigns. Talk about a recipe for disaster. Thankfully, Caligula's reign of terror came to an end when he was assassinated by his own grandmother, Julia Maesa. You heard that right. Grandmother of the Year award goes to Julia Maesa. And there you have it, 10 dark facts about ancient Rome you won't learn anywhere else. From the gruesome gladiatorial games to the scandalous love life of Caligula, Rome's history is full of both triumphs and tragedies.
Ho, ho, ho!
So, what do you think? Did you learn anything new? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating historical tales. Until next time, stay curious, my friends.
Ho, ho, ho!